Hello Cancer, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Cancer, let's jump on in. I am in the tail end of recovering from a cold, so I'm still, my voice is still a little messed up, a little raspy, and I still got a few symptoms, so do bear with me through that. All right, Cancer, let's start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. But first, I want to get a little bit of insight on this recent past energy here. Recent past energy for Cancer, please. Confidence is your key to success. Your dreams need a practical plan. Take time to breathe out and nothing will come of this situation. Okay. It feels like this past energy was forced redirection of some sort. And I think that it's good. It kind of feels like you're being redirected to a different position. Like everything this week is coming out in like career business terms. I don't really know what that is. But I do feel like it applies to this situation. It doesn't have to be about a career, but almost as if like you're getting a promotion or you lost a job, but now you're going to have all of these new opportunities that are way more aligned. Like that's what it really kind of feels like. So I feel like forced redirection, maybe that initially feels a little bit like a loss. If it doesn't feel like a loss, then I feel like there's a lot of fear and uncertainty around this. Specifically around like your ability to fulfill some sort of a role. Especially if like you lost a job and now you're looking for opportunities. It's like, well, if I lost this job, like, am I going to have the ability to be good enough for this one, or whatever the case is? This, whatever happened back here, it doesn't feel as if spirit was trying to take something away from you. This feels like divine protection towards something better. However, I feel that again, there's a lot of fear around where this is all headed. But I do think that things are unfolding in a really kind of like the surprising way for you, Cancer. That's all past energy. So let's see what you're dealing with right now. Current energy for Cancer, please. You and your loved ones are safe. So you're in a transition period right now. And I think that that's where a lot of the fear that I'm picking up on is coming from. You're very close to achieving your goal. Is there is a lot of uncertainty in your energy right now. And I think that it's interesting because the energy, like where you're headed, is really exciting. It feels very abundant. It feels like there's a lot of opportunity. You don't see that yet. So I feel like you're kind of stuck in this period of like, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how this is unfolding. I don't know where things are heading. So transition periods, I think, are often the toughest, especially when we have dealt with some sort of divine protection where certain things didn't work out or didn't end. We didn't get the opportunity we wanted, the job we wanted, whatever the case is. A lot of times it can feel like loss, right? And then you're sitting in this energy of uncertainty. That's not what is happening though. I kind of get this not everything is as it seems vibe in this reading, where it's like things around you might feel really uncertain, but I feel like Spirit's like, no, everything is working according to plan. Like it's all good. I'm not expecting you to feel that way, nor do I think that it's healthy just to feel that way if you are stressed, but having it in the back of your mind that things are working out better than you think might certainly help during this transition period, because Yeah, I don't know what you're coming up on, but it feels really exciting. What does Cancer need to know moving forward? What does Cancer need to know about this future energy? Just heard it. It's better than you think. Things working out better than you think. Adjustments are required, but a new start is coming. Okay. That's what I feel. I feel this new... You're in the adjustment period. So on the other side, okay. Ooh, but this adjustment period is required. Why is it required? I don't know. That's interesting. I wanna break this down. But yeah, step out of your comfort zone. It's almost like the universe had to push you out of your comfort zone. Maybe there was either some settling or some complacency, or and we don't do that intentionally. A lot of times we settle or we get complacent out of fear. We're afraid that nothing better can come along, or we're afraid of failure, or whatever it is. So sometimes we have to lose the thing that we're sitting complacent in, and face all of the fear. Yeah, that's exactly it. Face all of the fear that held us back from making the transition. And then on the other side of that fear is the thing that we desire. And I think that that's the transition period that you're in, which is why there's so much fear and uncertainty, is because you are really out of your comfort zone. There's a lot out of your control right now, but it's not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that it has to feel good. It doesn't always feel good. Transition and growth and being out of our comfort zone, it doesn't feel good, which is why a lot of people avoid it. But on the other side of this, I feel like is a really cool, new start, new opportunity. I don't know what it's talking about. Let's just see. But yeah, the transition period, I think, is always the hardest, and it does require the most amount of faith, for sure. All right. Man, I would do anything to get rid of this cough. I've had so many people tell me so many remedies, and I've tried everything. Overall theme of this reading for Cancer. I'm trying to make sure I'm giving my body enough grace, though, because I know it's working hard to heal. Hey, maybe that's something for you, too. Giving yourself some grace. You are working really hard to heal and to move through this transition, so giving yourself some grace right now. Okay, overall theme of this for Cancer. Boundaries. Okay, that was unexpected. What is this boundaries card about? It's stormy. This is the stormy period you're in. So this kind of feels like, see, this feels like a rainbow, like after the storm, when things have kind of calmed down. You're in the middle of the storm right now, the transition, the unknown. I don't know what this boundaries card is coming from, though. Making sure you're protecting your energy, you're protecting yourself. I think we're going to come back to this because I don't really know the death here on the back. It's all about endings and new beginnings. I mean, the death is all about transformation. With every new beginning comes some sort of an ending, and the ending is always the hardest part, right? The beginning's easy. It'd be cool if we could just always experience new beginnings. But then we wouldn't grow. We wouldn't transform. We're here to heal, grow, evolve, right? We wouldn't do all those things if it was just easy all the time, unfortunately. All right, let's break this down more, Cancer. Let's look at this recent past energy. Confidence is your key to success, and your dreams need a practical plan. Especially if this is for someone who gave up on a dream, or put a dream or a goal on the back burner, or maybe, I don't know, it kind of feels like Spirit's not allowing you to, no, you can't give up on that. That's not, this is too aligned. This is too aligned with you and your purpose. You can't give up on that. That's what it kind of feels like. All right, recent past for Cancer. Confidence is your key to success. Your dreams need a practical plan. Lovers in reverse with 3 of Pentacles. Okay, hang on. I feel like I'm missing a key to this message because I don't really know what that's trying to say. I'm not going to lie. Devil. Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Pentacles is like doing, like checking the things off. Like I'm doing these things. I'm doing these things just to get through the day, just to pay the bills, just to make, whatever. And it kind of feels like in this space that you were in, because with the Lovers in reverse, this is an energy of things not fully aligning with what you deserve. And I almost feel like this, because it does feel like complacency. It feels like you got really used to like some sort of a routine or some sort of like the way that things are, even if there wasn't a lot of happiness or fulfillment here, I feel like you got very attached to the way that things were, to your day-to-day or to an experience or to a feeling or something like that. And, when we get really stuck in our day-to-day routine and we, stay so stuck that we refuse to make moves or make changes, or sometimes we just avoid it altogether because it is just easier to stay the same than it is to change. Spirit will always come in and shake things up. Not to punish you, but to say, hey, it's time to move. It's time to grow. We're not supposed to stay in one space forever. Things are always changing and always transforming. We are always changing and transforming. And it feels like for you, Cancer, you outgrew something. You outgrew a space or a path or a relationship of some sort. And I feel like you outgrew it long before you realized you did. And that's the thing, is I feel like for a long time you kind of just settled in this experience. I don't know what this is talking about. You settled in it and you're just kind of like, okay, I'll just be here, I'll do this, whatever, get to the day, whatever. And like lost a little bit of a sense of like purpose or passion or excitement for like your life and where you were headed. Because yeah, especially with this Queen of Swords in reverse too. Kind of feels like you kind of started to shut yourself off, your mind off to other paths, to other routes. So yeah, I feel like Spirit came in and kind of shook things up. Not in a bad way though. It doesn't feel very good because you are in this stormy energy, but it's the transition period. Oh boy, do I know a lot about transition periods though, and they suck. But if you're willing to embrace it for what it is, and that's the thing, right? Nothing lasts forever. Everything is always temporary. We can look at this as a negative thing or a positive thing, where it's like there's so many wonderful things we get to experience and so many beautiful things that we get to see and have. And sometimes we give up on that because we get really stuck in the safety of like how things are, even though how things aren't really how we want them to be. So I don't know necessarily what this is talking about, but I do definitely feel like Spirit really came in, shook things up, because it was almost like if that didn't happen, you maybe never would have moved. You never would have changed. You never would have gone through this transition in the first place. Current energy for Cancer. You're very close to achieving your goal. You and your loved ones are safe. In the world, Ace of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. See, Spirit's trying to move you toward this Nine of Pentacles. So like if it is about a career, it's like more abundance or freedom or like control over your work or something, because like the Nine of Pentacles I feel like often represents independence. But then in addition to that, I feel like this is just like desires that you have, whether it's the love that you desire, the freedom you desire. I don't know necessarily. I don't really think that's for me to know. But it feels like this is a lot about readjusting like your commitments and your priorities. Because I feel like whatever this divine protection was, it's like it was taking up a lot of your energy, your capacity, your mental space, your emotional space, I don't know. And again, you outgrew it. So your energy was needed and is needed in other places. And I think that this period that you're in, I was dead on when I said transition period, because it does feel that this is a time to really like rediscover, and this sounds a little cheesy, but bear with me, like rediscover your passions or like rediscover your purpose, like what you're doing, why you do what you do. You know, I think that a lot of times we lose our why and we start just doing things just to do them. And then we get burnt out and then we're unhappy. And then, yeah, we live for the weekend, we live for the holidays, we live for the vacations. And that's not what life is about, right? It's not about just getting by. We are here to enjoy the experience that we have majority of the time, even though if it hasn't been like that for us, you know, to this point. And it kind of feels like some path is being opened up and being revealed to you, but it requires you, it's requires it to be very purpose driven, first and foremost. And second of all, it requires you to leave the spaces that were taking up so much of your energy. That's the best way I can describe it. But it's like new paths are being revealed, but it will require you to do things differently. Because you do have the adjustments are required. But it's good, but it's scary. But it's scary good. It's like good and scary. And that's the thing, right? All good things come with a little bit of fear. My husband always says, fear is often a sign that you're headed in the right direction. I couldn't agree more, because it's like, you know, sometimes things excite us, but also bring us a lot of fear. Fear of failure, or fear of things not working out. And if we allow it, that fear can determine for us whether or not we start or whether or not we go after it. And sometimes it does. Sometimes we get stuck so in our routine and in how things are that it's like, well, why would I go after anything more if I'm good here? Like, I got what I need, you know, whatever, I can make it through the day. And it's almost like, you know, that complacency becomes the experience. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that at the end of most people's life, they don't regret the things that they tried and failed at. They don't regret their failures. They don't regret the ways that they messed up as much as they regret never doing the thing, never taking the step or the risk or, you know, the decision, you know, just staying in complacency. And I think that for you, Cancer, this is really a time to look at like truly what you want. And I think that sometimes that's the hardest part about breaking out of survival is we forget that our desires do matter and are often very divinely led. You know, if the universe put a dream in your heart, it has every intention of helping you make it happen. But you have to get very unapologetic about that to be willing to stop settling. I don't know who this is for, what this is about, but this is interesting. And then the boundaries card, that's coming through again too. Okay, hang on. What does Cancer need to know moving forward? A new start is coming, adjustments are required. Protecting yourself right now from what doesn't serve you. So there's some things in your energy that aren't serving you. Yeah, because again, this is going back to like your energy is being taken up and it's needing to be reallocated. But there are certain things right now that you're needing to protect yourself from that are draining you, draining your energy, your time, your resources that need to go toward this path that's opening up. What does Cancer need to know moving forward? A new start is coming. Adjustments are required. Here you are. Queen of Cups. There's the Five of Pentacles. This is interesting. But this isn't where it ends. That's the thing. You feel the loss. But what does that lead to? The Ace of Pentacles. That's exactly the 10 of Cups. Look at that. So the loss leads to the Five of Pentacles leads to the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is the 10 of Cups. So the loss isn't a loss. It's divine protection from what doesn't serve you. And I said this all, and I channeled it all before the cards came out and confirmed it, because it's like, this is where, it's like you had to lose this to gain this. And you don't know what this is yet. And that's what's making it so hard. But this is not about looking backwards. This is very much about looking forwards. Because this is very aligned. The Ace of Pentacles with the 10 of Cups. It's like, you had to lose to gain. And that's the thing. Sometimes things do have to fall apart for better things to fall back together. Or sometimes there does have to be a loss for us to transition into something new that's more aligned. And sometimes that loss is really hard because to us it can be like, oh, it's the best I've ever had, or it's a loss of security and certainty, right? Which is why I do feel like you and your loved ones are safe. You are very, very divinely protected through this transition. which I feel like is a good title for this reading too, because I feel like some of you are in this transition period and are kind of freaking out a little bit. And I don't blame you. Transition periods, like I said, they suck and they're scary, but you're divinely protected. And again, going back to what I said at the very beginning, Spirit's saying, no, you don't understand. Things are working out better than you even think. Like this Ace of Pentacles, this is new opportunities. The Ten of Cups, this is fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. This doesn't always have to do with relationships, but it's emotional fulfillment. It's aligned fulfillment. And then the Five of Pentacles, obviously lost, Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. You don't have to be female for this to be your reading. We all have divine, feminine, and masculine energies within us. But I do very much feel like this is like your loss is your gain. Like you don't see it yet, you don't realize it yet, but yeah. It's like this adjustment was required, and it never would have happened if this divine protection didn't happen. Because you would have held on to it. You would have held on to it for forever. You would have thought, this is as good as it gets. And Spirit's saying, it gets better than you think it does. Interesting. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this, looking at what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So looking at that tangible advice, and then I've got an advice card for you that I'll pull from your spiritual team at the very end. Before I end this video, I do want to remind you guys that tickets for my workshop on September 19th are still on sale. This is my Manifesting Financial Freedom, Transform Your Relationship with Money workshop. For those of you who were unaware of my past life, I did used to be a financial advisor, and I know the ins and outs of just how money works and how it moves, and I help people with their personal financial situation. And now, being a spiritual coach, I still do that, but in a very different capacity. So I'm really excited about this workshop because I'm kind of combining the knowledge of, what I learned in the past and where I'm at now, putting it into one workshop to help you on your journey to manifesting financial freedom. If there's anything that I've learned, it's actually very easy to manifest financial freedom, but obviously we have beliefs and there are systems and things that make it a lot more difficult. And so diving into those things and looking at what's in our control can really help. So any information for that is at the top of the description box below. Thank you so much, Cancer, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Cancer.